Duck and cover.
Hello and welcome to Surviving Classical Music. I'm Andrew Byrne. Today I'm speaking with Tessa Roos, who is back on the program, first time on video, second time on the podcast, where she's a singer and early music specialist and co-founder of the ensemble Invocare and based in Basel, Switzerland. So welcome, Tessa, again.
Thank you very much, Andrew.
So, how was your week, Tessa?
My week was wonderful. It was an incredible week. Invocare, we had a residency here in Basel, a rehearsal period. We managed to keep it going. We had some issues at the beginning of the week, but everyone arrived and we were able to have 4 to 5 days of good rehearsals for projects coming up in the next few months. And we even recorded some pieces on the last morning, which is great. So that's really exciting.
The concerts that you're preparing for, are they postponed concerts or are they completely new concerts?
Postponed. 3 postponed concerts, festivals and concert series and a few radio programs. But yeah, all of them postponed. All of them should have been summer 2020 or one in November 2020.
And if you had not had, if those concerts had not been postponed, would you have done, if you had the opportunity to do this residency, would you have done it on this program or these programs?
No, because these programs would have been finished for now. And if we were still using them, we would have known them well enough that we didn't have to do a full-on residency just for them.
So what you're telling me, what I'm gathering here, is that you actually had to, you take 4 or 5 days out of your schedule just so you could, as an ensemble, get back together to do these postponed concerts.
Yeah.
And before these concerts, because you haven't had them yet, right? Are you going to have to also rehearse before those concerts as well?
Yes. Right. We will absolutely have to rehearse as well. But we've not rehearsed anything really together for quite some months. And we were going to be using this week for something else, for possibly another recording, but that had to be cancelled for various reasons. And so then we decided, okay, those of us who can still be there in those days, let's try find another venue, another country, another place where we can actually all travel to and use it for something else. And with the programs coming up, we do have some rehearsal days booked before them, but not enough, considering that we've not performed together for a long time. So yeah, we tried our best to meet before, to also just ease up the days before to not make it so stressful. I think we're stressed enough right now. We don't need to give ourselves more stress.
The postponed concerts,
Yeah.
have they acknowledged that you've had to take this extra time?
No.
Right. So, in fact, you had concerts which we've already established that if they were done when they were scheduled originally to be done, you didn't need 5 days of residency to prepare. You would have had, I'm assuming some kind of rehearsal period, but that would have been factored into the budget of that concert.
And also happened just before.
Right. Yeah. So it would have been in the lead up to the concerts. And now here we are 1 year later.
Yeah.
And
a bit more, yeah.
You've had 5 extra days. You'll also rehearse for the concert, like in advance of the concert. And these 5 days are not part of the budget, in fact. So what have you done in the meantime then to deal with these 5 days?
We did initially have some funding from a European Stiftung, can I say?
Yep.
And for that, we would have had to be in a European country doing this residency. For various other travel and COVID-related reasons, we had to move it to Basel last minute. And so we forfeited that funding.
Right.
And so then, just in the days before, we were frantically trying to find other funding for this. And also funding even for the concerts that we do have planned for later on. Because things like PCR tests or any kind of travel COVID tests have not been factored in.
Right.
of course.
So it's not just the residency, which is already a problem in terms of the labor cost of that,
Yeah.
but also the fact that there's all this testing that is unpaid from the festivals or whatever.
Yeah, some of them. So the one festival has said, yes, we'll cover it. The other one has said, no, we'll not cover it. And the other one has said, yes, we realize this is an issue for everybody and we'll get back to you.
Right. Okay. So we've got every variation that you could have.
Yes,
right
we do
there.
indeed.
Right.
And so then trying to fund for it, because we simply don't know what the rules are going to be in November.
Sure.
Right now, we can get into France, for instance, from Switzerland, beyond 30 kilometers. We can get in with just an antigen test, which is for free.
Yeah.
But very soon, maybe we have to take a PCR again, which is 140 francs.
Yeah.
So then those costs need to be covered by somebody.
Yes.
And yeah, that's been interesting for us to try and balance right now. Yeah.
Right.
And also then trying to sell. That's the thing. Usually, if you apply for money from a Stiftung in Switzerland, you would sell a program to them. You go, this is what we want to do, all the details,
Yeah.
fund us.
Yeah.
But now it's like we've got certain funding and we've got, help from the festival themselves for this program or this project. But not everything is covered because these are pre-COVID agreements.
Yeah.
Pre-COVID budgets, which don't factor in extra rehearsal time, travels which are probably inflated. Sometimes the travels are cheaper, sometimes they're more expensive because there are not so many travel options. And then just the COVID tests.
And also, I would imagine, but it may not be the case for everyone, is the factor of airlines canceling if you're going to travel.
Yeah.
Which is not, that's something which you never, it would almost be an impossibility pre-COVID. The idea that you could be booked to fly in the same morning of the concert.
Oh, yeah.
Or the night before, or depending on the time frame. And they would know that even if your flight was canceled, there would be another one. Yeah. It might cost more.
But you'd be able to get there and it would be fine.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. And also right now what I've heard is that for some people, the train schedules have also been changed, but they don't necessarily let you know about it, depending on the country that you're in. So then it's not even that, okay, we'll just stay on the ground, no.
Yeah.
That also doesn't necessarily cut out all of these issues.
Right.
So.
But at the moment, you Invocare is saying we're doing these concerts. I mean, assuming since you did the residency.
Yeah. And also we had to decide just before if forfeiting that funding from the European side, if we can still do it. But we said, well, we have to still do this work. Like, whether we have the funding or not. Right now, we're just bearing it ourselves, personally.
Yeah.
But we still have to give good concerts,
Yeah.
We've been pretty silent as a group. As an ensemble, we've been, quite quiet for the past year. And if we're actually going to have things that we're going to, if we have the opportunity to do things again, we want to do a good job. So we will have extra rehearsals.
Okay, I'm cutting in here in the middle of the interview, and Tessa's here, and we just realized that we could have said this.
So I've been applying for these different, So I've been applying with different Stiftungen for not a full project, but little bits of money just to help with every single project. X thousands of francs just to make sure that everything is covered. But possibly there are people who know exactly how to figure something like this out. And there are ways, and I've just not found the way that this can all be sorted out easily.
Or found the right Stiftung.
Found the right Stiftung, absolutely. Yeah. Talk to the right people.
Yeah.
And yeah, if there's anyone who knows, then please let me know who these magical humans are.
Okay, so this is a Swiss situation, right?
This is a Swiss situation at the moment, but also it is, lots of the concerts are also in Europe.
Right.
But yeah.
Well, okay, so if anybody who's based in Switzerland who might have an idea in this particular situation, which could involve, I would imagine, adding a Swiss activity.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Easy, yeah.
Then let us know or let Tessa know. You can find her on Facebook. You can send us the stuff and we'll forward it to her. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Back to your regularly scheduled episode.
these concerts, most of them would have been part of a really busy time for us. So we would have been in the flow and we would have been, in the zone, as it were.
Yeah.
And also, we programmed it so that many of the works, even though they're different programs, we were doubling up on things. So then it's like, oh, only one person changes for this concert, but the rest of us have sung this 2 weeks ago or something, for certain madrigals or whatever.
I think we should just take a moment to
Sorry.
clarify that the ensemble is made up of a lot of singers who
Right.
don't all sing at the same time.
All the time, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so it's a pool of 12 singers, and at any concert we're anything between 5 and 8 usually,
Okay.
and yeah, depending on the program.
Right.
And yeah, so it would have been
Efficient. It would have been
Yeah.
an efficient
Yeah.
way of managing this.
and we would have been just in the flow of rehearsing and doing it and performing, and yeah, it would have been really nice.
Yeah. But now we have this situation where you must, in order to give the festival what you believe is what they wanted.
And what we want to give them.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That you have to add 5 days of work
Yeah.
into the mix.
Yeah.
Right.
Also, just for the singers themselves, because I know that we've been talking about different things like this, where different performers have different levels of where they're at right now with performing or with rehearsing or sight reading or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And to not have someone say, well, to not give someone the thing of, we've got 3 days to rehearse and then we're on stage,
Yeah.
or not a small stage,
Yeah.
And then they might be freaked out, and rightfully so,
Yeah.
at this point. People are going through very different things. So it's like, let's just have a calm 5 days of rehearsal,
Yeah.
very casual, so that when we come back to it, all these things, it's not completely new, it's not whatever it is, let's just touch base a bit, which, is really nice.
You've said it's not just COVID, which has been a challenge. Some of the members are UK residents or UK citizens,
Right.
and that's a problem for Europe, right? What's that been like?
How do I say this? Well, in terms of the Brexit, like having to get new visas for them and different things, I'm really doing that step by step. So I've sorted that out for the first concert that we have. Then I've still got a few more months to sort out for the next ones, because it's also different per country. So for Holland, I'm like, all right, I think I've got my ducks in a row. But then for Belgium and for Germany, I need to still figure out what's going on completely.
Right.
But that's the one side of it. And then there's just been so many travel bans
Right.
for UK residents or people traveling from the UK anyway.
But this is COVID related.
It is COVID related again, but it's, but I don't know. It's COVID related, but at the same time, I mean, it's something we have to deal with. I know it's, I mean, the people from the UK, they're like, everybody hates us now.
Yeah.
I mean, jokingly, they're going, yeah, of course we're on all the travel bans because, everybody hates us and we have this virus and, we have this, sorry, not this virus. We all have the virus. We have the variant.
Yeah.
It's going crazy, which is wonderful.
But this is also, I'm assuming, why it's from a practical standpoint, why you rehearsed in Switzerland.
Yes.
Is actually they can quote unquote work by coming here and doing this project without anybody asking any questions. I mean, they're not working, legally or whatever.
Well, yeah.
They're doing something.
Yeah, they're doing something which cannot be postponed.
Yeah. And they don't need a visa to enter Switzerland. But in any case, not everybody would let them in for either COVID or visa-related issues.
Absolutely.
Right, okay.
Which is great.
Yeah, really problematic.
It is really nice when you're trying to find either a European country or just somewhere where everyone can travel to and not cost too much money and get funding for, etc. Place to sleep, place to rehearse, all this. But it's, it worked out. Yay!
Looking beyond these postponed concerts, so let's say you get you get more. There's 5 more concerts coming next season on different programs. Do you feel that you need to budget for even more time than usual to give them what you want to give in terms of quality or whatever, that to meet your potential?
It's a good question. It is something that we'll have to look at. And it depends how much we're simply working around it, really. But yeah, I would now, after this experience, I would budget in a different way, simply to go, well, in the current, situation, we have no idea really what the budget will be like. So absolutely.
Sorry, when I mean budget, I don't mean money budget. I mean actually like a budgeting for time. Would you want, like, you would say, well, in an ideal world,
right,
this.
Yeah.
Would that ideal world number of days or hours of rehearsal actually be more, or would it be the same?
It wouldn't always have to be more, necessarily, no. But the program that we were mainly rehearsing for now is quite hefty, and the week of the concert we only really have 3 days for it. I just thought that's just pushing it. If we've not sung a concert in about a year,
right?
That's pushing it,
right. And as you said, not everybody has had the same concert experience over the last year. Yeah,
absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, with us and with other groups as well. Yeah. Totally.
That's certainly been my experience when I've had a orchestral piece to play or a project in the pandemic, that you sit down and with the same people from the last years, and not everybody is, coming from, it's not like a regular gig. You sit down and it's like, okay, well, here we are and let's play. Yeah. It's like, oh, you haven't been playing that much, or wow, this guy was practicing the whole time, or that sort of thing, where you really see this slightly different change in everyone's life over that time.
And it's completely random. Who's also looking at the different countries, I find it crazy to see how many things are still happening in some places and not in others. And people who were completely fully booked before the pandemic are like 50% or less now, and it's, for what reason? They're the same singer, the same person.
Yeah.
Well, it's so I don't know. Also, the ensemble is also just a very young ensemble.
Right.
One of my singers had to remind me of this in this past week. I was very grateful that she did, because we graduated. We studied together at Schola, and we graduated in 2018.
Right.
And so we're only actually 3 years old.
Yeah.
And half of that time has been a pandemic.
Right.
We've been in a pandemic.
Yes.
And so actually, it's really not, it's not like we've, had ages to, we know exactly what our concert routine is, and how we do all the funding, all the stuff, all the media, all of the...
And also like on the performance side, that you never know exactly when that person goes, if that actually means, this is where the downbeat is.
Now.
Yeah, exactly. I would know if it was you, right?
I'm just going to eyeball you and everything will be fine. Yeah. Everything will be fine. Absolutely.
Very good. Yeah,
exactly.
But I can imagine that's, you do have to take the pressure off to a certain extent. And that, the one thing that we also should not forget is that the people who have had either the luxury to play a concert which was digitally broadcast, or also the luxury to simply just record something which was, for video, is what you see is beyond reality. Even in the digital broadcast, like for example, I was on a Oran's live stream crew for a concert in a church for Easter Sunday, and it was overproduced, let's say, like for what it was. It was Easter Sunday, and people could come into the church. So already that was just like magical for so many people who were there. And then we live streamed it, and when you place the mics correctly, when you listen, I was sitting next to the musicians, doing my work. And then I listened to the recording later, and I thought, wow, the recording is even better. Like, the broadcast is even better than real life.
Whoa.
Because there's no acoustical issues. There's no, you don't hear, like, the the echoing of the bad echoing of the church or
Right.
whatever, and the mic
wow.
is just perfectly placed so to capture, and and then there's also some processing happening when the singer is actually singing, so you don't hear exactly what is coming out.
Yeah. Wow.
And so what I think is hard is for you to separate what you see from what the actual potential is in a live environment. And so you say like, I know I can do that. I know we can do that. And then you get into real life and you're like, okay, it's not what I imagined. My potential is not what I imagined. But actually the bar is set at an impossible
Right.
level.
Yeah.
And especially in recording cases, because in the recording it's being cut up
Yeah.
to pieces before it's actually produced.
Yeah. Well, it could be. Yeah.
Yeah.
you
Well, it pretty much is. Yeah. But that's the one thing that you should always keep in mind now is that what you think in your head is where you should be is possible maybe, but maybe your expectations have been skewed in the last year.
Yeah, with all of this studio work.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Studio work.
That's true. Yeah. Absolutely. But then also knowing that, I mean, there are so many people as well as ensembles that we know kind of in our age group that had we're on this kind of a wave of things starting to really happen. Mm-hmm. And there was momentum and it was it was really going somewhere and it was great. And then it was just cut.
Yeah.
And so then of course you don't want to do the thing of, oh yeah, well, it's first concert after lockdown. You go, well, no, this is,
But you're putting on
it's a good stage. It's a good
unreasonable
festival.
expectations on yourself, right? You're saying that what I hear is we are a young ensemble, and therefore we have to be better than everybody else. And we come out of the lockdown, and some people may have the luxury of saying, it's a lockdown, whatever, here we are. But we can't have that luxury. We have to be out there and be like, no,
Just like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like that. But like your best is even in this moment is exactly where it would have been then.
I think so, yeah. But then to make sure that we actually get there. Because the one thing that I have to kind of say, well, we don't have to be better than everyone else, but just actually good for what I know that we can,
Yeah. You want to
at
meet
least
your
for
potential.
our potential, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the other people, listen, you're all amazing, you do you. But just for us to not go stand there and like head stuck in the book or not make big differences or, the whole point of the collection, of one of the collections that we're doing is that each madrigal has a different taste to it, a different humor, a different thing. And to actually bring it out and to actually do it instead of just go, oh, that's nice. Yeah, we can read it. Next. Like, I know some people do. I know people do that. And maybe in a few years, I'll be one of them, but right now we've got stars in our eyes still, right? And if we can make that happen and really, really get into the music, then, and I have, which is amazing. It's like I have these people around me who are still keen to do that and keen to put that time in. And I'm like, sure, yeah. I'll organize that. Oh my God, yeah, totally.
Even if there's like 18 visas that I have
exactly.
to negotiate, I'll do it.
Yeah, 18 visas, no money. Like, yes.
For sure, count me in.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody welcome. Come on in.
Very good. Well, good luck.
Thank you very much. Yes. I feel good about it.
Yeah.
It'll be great.
Excellent. So, Tessa Roos, thank you very much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me, Andrew.
Very good. Okay. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, subscribe to our YouTube channel. This is also an audio podcast. You can listen on any of the podcasting apps that are out there. We are there, I assure you. And if we're not, you can send us an email at survivingclassicalmusic@gmail.com. Thanks for watching and take it easy. Bye-bye.